Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I have great memories of being here, like years ago now. But it was a great meeting, and the officers got it immediately, so it was kind of fun being back here. And I'm just going to share a little information with you. We can answer questions afterwards if that's helpful. But we're very excited about Vitals and the Vitals app. This technology was created to help keep people safe, and to give first responders another resource that they can use to know more information about people that they're kind of facing every day. So that's tough when you don't know anything, you're approaching a situation, and so Vitals gives that information in real time to kind of try to help. And so I think we're recording this so the community might be able to see this at a later date. So you guys thank you for coming, but we're trying to spread the word as much as possible. The more people that sign on, the more it's going to help the community. So Vitals, I said we've been around for a few years, and we basically have worked with first responders since the beginning, and we provide a tech service that connects first responders and now 911 centers with information that they can have when they're faced with a situation that is either brewing or has potential, or it could be going on right now. It's giving them information that's voluntarily put in by the family and the individual. So I don't need to spend a lot of time on stats, especially since we're still in the pandemic and these numbers have skyrocketed. This was before the numbers, but still, 1 in 5 U.S. adults face some type of mental health crisis in their lives. And we know that the numbers are going to change when NAMI puts them out, but that's still a lot of people. And then 1 in 10 individuals, when there's a call and first responders responding, 1 in 10 there's some kind of mental health situation involved in that call. So this is timely technology. We feel like we're at the right place at the right time to help a lot of people who need some assistance. And then the numbers are staggering as far as mental health issues. We like to kick it off with a video because I can talk at you, but it's better to kind of show a real example. Marcus, we like to use him because he was in the test group in St. Paul. We started years ago. We did a pilot with St. Paul PD, and Marcus, he was in a situation where he was around a lot of people. He has Asperger's, and he was injured because he just couldn't communicate. He couldn't follow any instructions, and people didn't know how to handle him. It happened another time about a year later. We saw it in the media, and so the co-founders called Maria, his mom, and we kind of saved them the second time, and we documented the story. So let's see if this works.
Marcus is bright. He loves the computer. He loves playing music. Marcus loves to draw. Although he's 20 now, he has the thought capacity and understanding ability of a 12 to 14-year-old. He's on the Asperger's side of autism, so I've been in those situations where I didn't know where he was because he would just wander. There was times I can understand how mothers would give up. My son had an incident with the police. They were yelling, but he had the earphones on. They're thinking he was being smart aleck, Marcus was fighting back with them because, he didn't want to be touched. They were in his boundary. He explained to them he doesn't like to be touched. It just tore my heart to pieces. Had I had Vitals then, it would have been totally different. The officers came, they de-escalated the situation. They had already informed everyone. So I got 2 officers with their phones like, yeah, we got all this information. You want us to stay? Are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine now. It's such a blessing for anybody, any parent would have that peace of mind that there's someone out there that understands and can help. I am going to say, without prejudice, Vitals is a lifesaver because it has saved my children's life, and without this, I think I would be a mother who would be grieving my child instead of celebrating life with my child. Everyone should have it.
I've seen that video lots of times. It still feels good watching it. Right? That's a good news story. That showed us that we really had something that could work for a lot of people, and so we kept going. And I wouldn't do this. I need to tell it my personal testimony. I have time to do that. I know sometimes I do that, sometimes I do. I got involved, obviously why, but then I also have, you have people who have invisible conditions that you have no idea what's going on. One of those people was my son. He's a teenager now, but boy, he struggled a lot when he was in kindergarten, first grade, and second grade, trying to figure out what was going on with him. The diagnosis was ADHD, anxiety, some oppositional stuff, and on all kinds of meds at the time, just trying to figure it out. And what happened was he would become very escalated, and it would be nothing for him to tear up a classroom. It would be nothing for him to run off, and trying to figure out what was going on with him. And he is one of those kids that his team of people, they knew if you just leave Justin alone for 3 to 5 minutes, he'll calm himself down. He's never hurt anybody, he would just do that. But if you didn't do that and you kept talking to him, it would just trigger him even more. And so what a great example of how this can work. If a first responder approaches somebody and is like, you know what? And sometimes you can't, I know that, I've heard that from Chris and other people. Sometimes you can't, but sometimes you probably could. And so it changes the whole scenario. So that's my personal testimony about this. Giving information, because you're having to make decisions that you don't have much information, and giving that information in a timely fashion that is put in by a family member or an individual, so it's kind of customized to help that individual. That's what we're all about. Concerns is sort of with the mom of Marcus, when you, it's okay when you're around, but when you leave, now you're worried. You don't know what's gonna happen, I think my life is better now with my son, but I still worry because that's what you do. And so you just give some kind of resource or tool to try to help, and that's what this is all about. And so I'm going to show you an example of what it looks like on the phone. It's all technology. It's an app. So an individual or a family member downloads our app. They create a profile that I'll show you in a minute. Putting the information in, you'll see all that. But at the same time, the first responders, the Richfield officers that have Vitals, they download a different app. And it's just for first responders only, authorized, and then they get to kind of see what's going on. The person's voluntarily given that information so they can have more information to help them if they're in a time of need. So here's how the technology kind of works. I know this art, you guys are more than this. But this is just an illustration. And so we have this little beacon up here with this young man. It's technology that you can wear it. You can put it in your pocket like this. And all it does is transmit a Bluetooth signal to our secure cloud server. There's no information on that beacon, so nobody has to ever worry about that. That transmits a signal when you come within 80 feet of a first responder who has our technology. Once you come in that 80-foot boundary, now the officer, the first responder can take a look if they want to. If everything's normal, they might not even want to do it. But if they feel like they want to, now they can look at the information and see how to help the person. Once you leave, like this is a park and you leave, that information goes away. It doesn't store on the phone or anything. So that's how it works. It's fully HIPAA compliant because the person voluntarily puts it into the system. We're not forcing anybody to do anything. It's all voluntary. And then the other thing is it doesn't stay with anyone. Your information is stored on a secure area. I just said all that, so I'm not going to repeat it. I'm ahead on the slides. So this is what it looks like. Excuse me, somebody had a sense of humor about Tommy Boy. Chris and I were talking about that today. Sorry. But
it's okay.
I always laugh about that. But this is what it looks like. It's just a description. A thumbnail photo, height, weight, primary, secondary conditions, critical information, de-escalation techniques, behavior triggers, medicines if you're taking them. You can put all that in there, and then, at the end of it, if you're going to have an emergency contact information, if you have somebody that, hey, when I'm in trouble, call this person, you can do that too. So it's all up to you on how you fill that out. Information that is designed to help the individual. We also have what we call media files. We thought this was a cool little feature where, sometimes, especially in some of these settings, a mom or a dad or a friend could record a message, and basically, like, if the person is really escalated and an officer has it, they can just look and they can click on a button, and now they can, click on the individual and they can give you information. So Caleb's escalated, now he can bring mom to the scene, mom's voice.
Hey babe, the people that are with you are keeping you safe, and I know you're scared, but mommy will see you as soon as she can. You're fine. Love you, bud. Bye.
I worked in the school district for a long time, and then I dealt with it with my child. The first call the first call is to the parent to try to de-escalate, to help them de-escalate. So imagine if there's something going on in a park or somewhere, and the child can't. The first call is to mom to try to help de-escalate it. So it just gives you another tool or resource that you can use. 3 tiers of services. So we have 3 tiers. Now we have Profile 911. When we first started, we didn't have that, but now we have that. That is for an individual who, it can be anywhere in the country, and you are preparing yourself for an emergency. Like if not, you download the app, you create a profile. If you're in one of the cities that we're in, and we're in over actually 90% now of places in the country, if 911 is called, let's say somebody's having a problem right now, 911 is called, the dispatchers will have access to that profile information, so they can start helping you. That second tier is the better tier because it's a city, it's Richfield, the first responders, the police have it, as well as if 911 is called. Now you're kind of protected on 2 fronts. Sometimes 911 is not called. And so now a first responder has it and 911 has it. And then this third tier plus places, sometimes people wander. You have dementia, you have different conditions, and people wander. So we created this where you have access to these first 2 tiers. And the third tier is now a loved one or caregiver can create a boundary, a safe zone. So now, if the person comes out of their safe zone, it's going to alert the caregiver that the person just came out of the safe zone, and then it's going to locate the person. So we love that tier. It doesn't work for everybody, but the individual needs to be able to carry some type of a phone with them or some type of device with them, and that works. Cost a little bit. One day it's going to be free, but today we can't. It's technology. So we try to keep it down. That first tier is $2.99 a month. The second tier that I talked about, when you have 911 and Richfield Police, it's $5.99 a month, and the third tier is $11.99 a month. Now, all the competitors say, I mean, we're way lower than they are, particularly, what's the name of that? Angel Saints. They do that third tier. And so I'll be honest to say, like, a lot of times they use this hardware that's pretty heavy and cumbersome, and we don't use any hardware, except for that little beacon. So that, I think that's our advantage. A video to end it. So this is the next video. It's a good example of a young lady who is in her early 20s, involved in Special Olympics. So she has some level of independence, but she needs some assistance from her parents. She's able to hold a part-time job at Walmart. So she memorized a couple routes from home to work, and life's good. She's maximizing some things. The story here is one night there was a traffic fatality on one highway and there was road construction on the other one. So now all of a sudden she's nervous and scared. And so the backstory is that Saturday there was a house party going on in that community involving some 18 to younger adults, and they thought there was going to be some underage drinking. So they were already kind of on alert. And then she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But we documented that, what happened in this story.
Look at that all little kickers.
Anyone, when they're first told that their child has a disability, they immediately go, okay, they're with us for life. Our goal has always been, let her be as independent as feasible, but yet keep a little control there.
I learned slower. It's harder for me to understand different cues and that normal people would.
Most people wouldn't recognize that she's got a disorder, but multiple step directions are extremely hard. She's getting to a stage where she's adventurous enough that she's driving.
It's a good state of mind for us, for her to venture out.
This is Goodwin, and this is 190th. Our crash was here, and Caitlin lives right here. We had the road shut down for a few miles in each direction to give us a buffer to work.
I saw a lot of lights. I saw the two vehicles. Got a little nervous.
When she called, I said, well, where are you? She's like, well, they told me to turn around. And I was like, oh Lord, she is scared.
The Hastings Reserves officers thought her behavior was a little erratic, and he thought maybe she was impaired in some manner.
Well, I was literally starting to be bawling my eyes out because I didn't know what to do.
As I pulled up in front of her car, my phone dinged in my squad car, and I noticed the Vitals app had popped up. I was able to use that to approach her and address her by name, told her she's in a safe place, and we would help her get home.
I've been doing this a long time, so that was, to me, a success story. If they can serve people like Caitlin to the best of their abilities with the help of technology, then I think it's a win.
She learned that the officers are out there to help her. The first thing we asked her when she walked in the door was, if you had to pay for this out of your money, would you get it? And she was like, definitely, because I wouldn't want to go through this without it. Vitals app allows you to feel a little bit of security. You can sleep at night.
She don't need mom and dad to
Take her
everywhere. She can do this and not rely completely on us.
So that's my presentation. We'll take some questions if you have any questions, and I think Chris will kind of end it.